Hello and welcome to another free code session. My name is Jason Bach and I'm now under a little bit of a time limit because in about 40 minutes I am going to go back to work for a little bit. That's a misnomer. We usually have like a weekly team huddle meeting, but this week we're just getting together for half an hour, have a drink and just, chat, nothing work related per se. So that's okay by me. I'm going to get a beer, open up the employee machine back there and join that for a little while. So I do have to make sure I'm done on time with this, but I thought about this a little bit more and I said, use C#, use the compiler. If the developer is not doing the right thing, the key is that function that you're passing in. That is what's going to determine what the signature should be for the apply that you're actually trying to call. If you end up not passing in the right parameters, that's your problem. The compiler then will tell you, hey, you should have given me 3 ints and you gave me an int, a string, and a GUID. I don't know what to tell you. And then you go, oh, that's right. This one should have been this. And you pass in 3 and then it's already there because we already generated it. And then everything works. So I think that's what I'm going to do. Because again, it really is the function that you're passing in as the first argument. That is the key to everything. The rest of it doesn't really matter in the sense of what I'm generating. In fact, none of it matters. So we're good. I'm actually going to take this to do off. Okay. So what do we want to have here? We want to have a bunch of diagnostics. We want to say the target function needs the apply function. Yeah. Okay. Do I want to spend time? Yes, I do. Yes, I do. Do. Yes, I do. I really do. Okay, so what I want to pass in here, though, is the invocation, the location of the invocation. Okay, so we are going to create a new incorrect apply argument count diagnostic. That works. Public static. Yeah, this one's going to be like a whole bunch of boringness in that I'm just creating diagnostics, but I really need to do this. No. There, ED. I was doing EC for some reason. That. Fine. That. We want to say here syntax node. Okay, because we don't really care about the name of it. And we don't need to format this because we're going to say here is this. So there are no formats for this one. The apply function, and at least one parameter to partially apply. Okay. And what the Sam? Not here. Holy crap. What am I doing? Who? Why? How? Reasons. We don't do this. Okay. That's the dangers of passing code around because you don't really know. Wait, what? String format would be that. We don't need that. We just need this. Oh, yeah. Okay, we do need the, okay. This. Node. And what don't you like? Oh. Get location. Now you work. Okay, we want this to be PA2. And what I wanted, what's this? Watch as Jason creates tons of diagnostics. But, you know, what? Oh my God, I'm doing it again. Here. Am I in the right spot? That. Not, yeah. I was doing the wrong keystroke. I was actually jumping into the other Visual Studio. It's my fault. I was doing the wrong thing. But, you know, Visual Studio should know better. Incorrect. Apply argument count. Yes. Okay. All right. So that takes care of this one. Now, of course, I'm doing this, but I'm not actually var diagnostics is equal to new list of diagnostics. Okay. And we're just going to say here, diagnostics add incorrect create based on candidate. Okay. There. So now we got the first one done, and now doing all the rest of them should be quite simple. Okay. So what is the problem here? Could not find the definition. I mean, I know what this is, which is it tried to, the first argument was it's supposed to be a method symbol, and it's not. So that's what we're trying to say is no target method given. Okay, that works for me. Descriptor. Okay. And then we're going to come over here to this. We're going to do this. God, did I do the right thing? This. And then that. 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 This. And the other. And then 3 more. And then that. What? You don't. Come on. Come on. I think that would be fine. So this will be PA3. And the first argument could not be resolved as a method. Not definition, but as a method reference. Sure. And then we want to say no target method given. Actually, let's rename this to found. And change the name of the file. Good. Good, good, good. I like that it does that. Because it should. That, 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 and then we do that, that, and then here we're going to say diagnostics, add that, create arguments, delegate argument. Yes, there we go. Okay, so that's the second one. Minimal parameter count not met. Let me say 2 parameters in the target function to do partial application. Minimal parameter count not met. Minimal parameter count. Minimal parameter count not met. I think it's more than that, though. I have, this is 1. This is what I'm doing right now. That was 2. That's 3. This should be 4. Okay. The target function needs target method. Yeah, we'll go back and change it. Needs at least 2 parameters for partial application. Okay, and then we come back, close all this, that, this, and the other. No, not this. We want to go to our information. This really probably should be called analyzer because that's what we're actually doing, but that's okay. Diagnostics.add this, create descriptor. What? Oh, wait a minute. These are, what do I call them here? These are all descriptors, so I'm doing this wrong. Okay, this should be descriptor. Yes, yes. And this should also be descriptor. Yes, yes. Although now that I'm looking at this, this is actually doing a diagnostic. Diagnostics. Diagnostic. Constants. Yes. 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 I don't know why I called them descriptors over there. Okay. And now anywhere we have this, we want to say Diagnostics. Never show that message. Yes. Okay. So now this should be create. And where we want to do this on is the node. Or the delegate argument. That's fine. All right. And then the last one is passing in too many parameters to the target function. You could be a little bit more specific here and say that if the argument count, like if I had 4 there, and the argument count was 5, 1 more, that means you're doing full application. Otherwise, you're just passing in too much and you've done, except there's a catch here, right? Which is what happens if the diagnostic needs a params. Yep. Shoot. So there's a catch here. Yeah, what would you do? Every time I say now, I clicks in my head, don't do that. Stop saying Oh, nice. I just noticed, I made a repository and it's now changed master domain, which is the right thing to do. On all my previous repositories, I haven't gone back and said, yes, that should all be main. And that's one of the things that I need to do on my list is just change all the master branch to main branch. But now it's doing it by default, which is good. I just caught that. I wasn't even looking for it. I didn't say There's a catch. So at least right now, we'll do a to-do and say like, well, what would happen if the last argument was a params? Then that brain does not compute on that one. I still think you'd be violating the intention of this, which is you're at least giving more than what you should. So I don't think this really matters. Probably going to bite on that, but that's too many arguments, exception. Too many arguments, not exception. Diagnostic. What's the last one we did? Minimal? Okay. Too many arguments. Okay, that. 5. Too many arguments are being passed to the target method. Yep, that's all I care about right now. If we want a better description, I can do that later. Okay. So we do this, that. Before I forget, I want to go through all these things and make sure that I say target method. The apply method needs a target method. At least one per, yeah. Okay, that's fine. Target method, that's fine. That's fine. I feel like I just copied and pasted and I didn't realize it. Okay, so two argument pass the target method. Oh, I thought for some reason I had accidentally like copied and pasted something, but I didn't. Okay, so let's go back to the information and we'll do a diagnostics. Add too many arguments diagnostics. Create. I think in this case I want the whole thing. I want the whole candidate. Okay, now I have what I'm looking for. So this is where it gets a little interesting. And what do I mean by that? I need to figure out, well, no, I don't. No, I don't. This is exactly what I'm looking for. What I need to store here is the symbol of the method, because I need to declare, if I go back here, not on my schedule, but here, if I go back up, something simple. Okay. I need to declare this delegate, and then I need to know, well, how many actual parameters do I need on the apply coming out? Okay. So I would need some kind of structure to specify that. So do I actually want to call it like a candidate or work to do or thingy or stuff or what the hell? I just need two values. I just need the function method and I need the number of remaining arguments from the rightmost over to do as another delegate. Because then I would know how much, like if I said here, like I need 1, I know that I need to do this. 2 minus 1 is 1. I would do this. If I have the case where I'm doing like, do I have the sum thing here? Yeah, I do. So let's say I'm trying to, I really want sum here or something like that. And I have 2 here. Well, what that means is that 3 minus 2, I would do 1 here. Okay. No, I would do, it would be C. Yeah, I got all this code screwed up here, but if I had 2, I know that I need to have the actual apply argument be 2, the first 2 from the method. The apply delegate that's being returned needs to have 1. And the local function needs the other 2. Yeah, I don't want to really look at this because I don't have the code there correct as much as I need it to be. But this is what I'm looking for. So I need to say, Sit up again. Should have a puncher thing. Did I ever tell? I don't know if I ever told this story, but I'm going to say this. When I was in college, there was a person who shall rename nameless. I remember the name, but I won't say it. Who would literally punch himself during tests. I'm not kidding. I remember this clearly. I was taking, I think, my first circuits test. So I was a sophomore because I was in electrical engineering, and you're in this room with about 100, 150 people taking the first test. And I'm near the back and get the test. So I start going through, remember, resistance and IR, V, ohms, all this other stuff. But you have to figure out like the circuit and the amperage and the voltage. It was one of the first things that you learn. So going through the test, writing this all down, all of a sudden I hear a thunk. Or maybe it was a calculus test. I don't remember, but it was one of these classes. And I look up and I'm like, what was that? Whatever. Go back and keep working on my test. Thunk, I hear again. I look up again. I'm like, what is going on? So I thought, well, I got plenty of time. This test wasn't that hard. So I'm like, just give it a minute here. I want to see if I can actually see what is going on here. And then I see this guy that he'd be sitting there and he was so tense during the test. And if he was struggling, he'd be like, bam. And he would just, literally sock himself on the chin really hard. And I would hear him say, I know the information. At the time, because I wasn't as mature, I was laughing internally, not at him, but I was like, wow, that's pretty screwed up. Now that I'm older, I actually felt really bad for the guy because he wasn't stupid. He was a smart guy and he knew his stuff, but he locked up during tests. He just completely froze. And truth be told, the older I get, the more there are these test things, I'm like, that's just, yes, you want to show that you know the information, but one of the best tests I ever took in college was when I was in grad school. It was for numerical analysis. And the final, the teacher said, all right, I'm going to give you an envelope. You're going to take it home. And I'm going to, say to you that you have 2 hours to take the test. So from the time you open the envelope, 2 hours later, you have to stop. And whatever you got done is, he goes, I can't stop you from doing that. Obviously by this time on this day, the test must be turned in, but I don't care in the next 3 or 4 days when you do it. That's up to you. So you open the test, you start a timer, and he goes, use whatever books, whatever material, whatever you want to do. He goes, because that's what you do in the real world. He goes, you will constantly be researching. You will constantly be looking stuff up. And he said, if you don't know what we've been talking about the whole semester by this point, then no amount of looking things up is going to help you. You need to know what's going to be coming in terms of material. But if you need to look something up quick, have the textbook, have other notes, have, things you've written down, have that all around you ready to go. And this is well before the internet. That's all. Well, not before the internet, but before it became fairly ubiquitous. So that wasn't a thing to just go look up answers on the internet or use all these tools that are available now. But even with that, to me, that was the most reasonable way of doing a test, which is, I know some people argue and say, no, professionals and experts should know all this stuff on the top of their head. And part of me goes, yes, I think there's a level of knowledge that you need to have. But quite frankly, the older I get, the more I'm like, there's so much out there that it's more important to me to understand fundamentals and principles and core ideas than it is to know what the third argument is to this function in a library or something like that. That doesn't matter. So, it's like another math teacher that when we were learning about eigenvalues and matrices or finding the determinant, or I don't remember what it was, but you would do it by hand for a 2x2 and then maybe a couple of 3x3s. He said, but then after that, he goes, you're going to use a computer. You're going to write a program, tell it, here's a matrix, and have it find it for you. He goes, that it's all machinery wrote stuff after that. So why would you force somebody to, do a 10 by 10 or something? He goes, that would be ridiculous. That would take so much time to figure out. And those things stuck with me because that's what's realistic. And I don't know how I got on this rant about tests, because I remember the guy punching himself because I kind of just did that by what I was doing. But yeah, you don't really need to learn all this stuff. I mean, yes, learning more is a good thing. Always learning is a really, really good thing. I highly believe people should be learning as much as they possibly can. But having every single piece of information around you is, as you've seen in a lot of videos I've done, I don't know everything. I don't remember everything on the top of my head. I sometimes get stymied, and that's okay, So anyway, I'll look back in this video and go, how did I ever get on that point about being so riled about tests? But I don't remember it all. But I'm getting old. I sometimes ramble, in any event. So I finally got to the point where I know I need some kind of just structure. And I think I'm going to start writing some tests on the candidate, or on the receiver and this, to make sure that I'm getting what I think. And then if that's good, then I'm going to do another episode and start doing the actual building all the stuff. Okay. So I am done for now. Thank you all for watching. Leave comments and questions below. See you in the next episode.